Hey everyone, welcome to the CSI Secret Store community call. Today is July 21st, 2022. This call falls under the CNCF Code of Conduct. It's recorded and will be published on YouTube. If you're on the attendee list, please add your name here. And then in terms of announcements, we published 1.2.1, which has CVE patches for the base images last week, and then post that we also released 1.2.2, which had a critical bug fix that was required for running the CSI driver on the newer Windows LTSC 2022 version. And we have a pretty short agenda. Like the first item that I added for discussion, I wanted to see if we can get feedback from all the other community members and maintainers about adding Nilek and Xander as maintainers. They've been helping out quite a bit with the project, and then Nilek has contributed quite a lot for it. So he's already added as a reviewer for the project. So I just wanted to see about the maintainers. But since we don't have a lot of folks on the call, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this on Slack and see if there are any objections to this or any plus ones. Okay, and then the next one was we're going to discuss Dane's PR. Okay, Dane, do you want to talk about
it? Yeah. My machine doesn't have the permissions to share, so could we look at your screen and open up the conversation?
Do you see my screen?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had a look at Tommy's response a little while ago. I was trying to wrap my head around like the direction he wants us to go instead. My understanding is that he sees like the usefulness of transformation and wants to like generalize this like templating so it's not just related to syncing, but like the issue that he linked to, my understanding of that was that the user just wanted the ability to hard code like key value pairs in a secret through secret objects, which seemed like different. And I wasn't sure what he meant by like that highlighted comment, the concept of transform where one file can map to multiple files based on JSON path. So, I figured like a concrete example would be like better for my own understanding.
Yeah, I think the way I understand his comment is, so the PR currently implements the changes for templating only on the sync secret, right? So basically it's parsing the files that's written from the driver, from the provider, and then it's doing some kind of templating. Like if it is a JSON struct, it's taking out like key value pairs, but adding only those key value pairs in the Kubernetes secret. But in addition to that, I think what Tommy is suggesting is let's just keep it out of sync secret, like have this templating as its own thing. So when you actually write to the mount, you do the templating. So like it's possible the user wants the files that's written in the mount to be separated into key value pairs, and like that is being done at the provider level today. I think like Vault does it and then AWS does it. So I guess his suggestion is, why don't we do this as a separate thing? And then when it comes to sync secret, you don't have to do the templating again, but rather just rely on the files in the file system, and then you can just sync that as Kubernetes secret, like which is what we do exactly today.
Okay, so I'm just gonna repeat back to you what I think I understood, just to make sure I am understanding. So, so like the behavior of the PR now is that the provider gets a response, or that the driver gets a response from the provider that's a JSON object and just mounts that JSON object and then does the parsing and extracts those key value pairs. What you're saying is instead of like mounting that file as a JSON object. The driver should recognize this is JSON, and we have these templating configurations in the SPC. So I'm going to extract those key value pairs before I mount the file, so that I can mount each of those key value pairs as their own file. And then the driver will just do what it normally does.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, my guess is that's what he means, but I think there are also some concerns with it. Like maybe if you start a thread on Slack or something, then I will also ping Tommy about it. The thing is, like the concern is if the user relies on a particular file name and all of those, like these are all provider configurations, right? Like today at the provider level, the user says like, hey, get secret one from the external secret store. And then they also get to define the file name. Like sometimes, like at least for Azure provider, we provide an option called object alias. So the file name could just be secret one, which is the same as object name. Or if their code looks for something like foo or bar or something, they can say like the object name is secret one, but the object alias should be foo, which means when you write it to the file system, write it with the file name foo, right? So this is what all the providers decide. So they basically decide what the content is and what the file name is, and they return it to the driver. At the driver level, if it's a JSON, and if you're parsing through the JSON and extracting key value pairs, the problem is the driver now has to determine what the file name is going to be. So it's probably going to append maybe the key name or something to the file name so that it can write multiple files for each key value pairs. How do we make that deterministic? And is that what the user wants? Like if they want the specific file name, now we are diverging from that.
Yeah, I figured, I think that was an issue with like one of my previous implementations of this functionality was that like by choosing to use this sort of templating, the user in some cases would sacrifice the flexibility of being able to name their own files. And that wasn't like a direction I think we wanted to go in.
Yeah, the only reason, like the reason I can see why Tommy's saying this is because there are like two places where this transformation now happens, right? Like driver is doing it for sync secret, but then also each provider is doing something on their level again for templating, like where they are trying to get it from external secret store, then parse through it and do things there. So I think his reasoning probably was to just unify all of it into just one transform at the driver level. But the only thing is the level of control the driver and provider has on deciding what the names are and all of that. Like that's the gap I think we need to address.
Got you. Yeah, I'm trying to remember how Vaults works. I think Vault gets each secret individually and since each has its own file.
Right. And then I think they also added the support for templating, right? Like if you file the JSON, then I think they can split that into like individual key value pairs. But we can also see like when they split it into key value pairs, like does the user control the file name or they don't? Because my guess is like if there are multiple key value pairs, then Vault is the provider is probably just appending like some unique thing to the file name so that it can be written as multiple different files. But if the user has to sync that file as Kubernetes secret, like today they give us the file name to sync as Kubernetes secret. So like the user needs to know what the file name is going to be.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it seems like it's a little more involved. It seems like the direction is trying to close this like weird split of behaviors between the driver and providers and just trying to like unify it in one place.
Right. I mean, if we can do that, that'll be great, but we just have to make sure that it's in a deterministic way.
Right. Okay. Well, I can definitely wrestle with those thoughts for a bit. I am going to have some time this weekend to just kind of freely work on this. So I'll open up a thread on Slack.
Yeah.
and maybe try to post some like POC examples to see if it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. And then just feel free to tag me, and then also Tommy if you want to see that. And then just tag all the folks you want to, and then like I will try and get Tommy to respond there, so that like we can actually have a discussion and like close out on this one.
Yeah, that'd be great. I may also ask to sync up on like video at some point outside of the meeting that we're having today. That's usually helpful if I could just get some video time. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so it was just the one comment. Okay. Yeah, just feel free to ping anytime, and then like we can get on a call.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks, Anish.
Yeah. Okay. We don't have any other item. I was thinking maybe we can just look at issues and PRs. I think most of the issues that were opened have been responded to. Sorry, Nile, did you have something to say?
Oh, no. Great.
Okay, this one is already responded to. Okay, this one is too. This one I think is specific to Azure, so I'm gonna just close out this one and then tell them to create an issue there. So this one, I remember we discussed in the last community call and said this is not something we want to support. So if everyone's okay with it, I will probably just comment and close this one out. Okay.
Yep, that sounds good.
Cool. I think the PR for this one was already closed, or it's still there. Okay, it's still there. Okay, so you can close both of it.
And I think, I'm not sure, but I think I asked them to join the call, but I don't remember joining them.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think they were there on the call.
Anyways, but I think we did discuss this, so.
Yeah. Cool, we'll close out that one. This one, I think they were waiting for me to respond, so I will look at it today. Yeah, and if anyone else also wants to take a look, issue 947. Okay, these are all planned for like future milestones. Okay, I don't see anything else new from the last time. And in terms of pull request, yeah, there's Danes. This one is not being active at all. I mean, I think we can just let the bot close it soon. This is a good to have thing. Like I think ability to configure digest in the Helm chat, but I had added some comments and they haven't changed in that yet. And then this one we will close out because it's not something we want to support. Okay, and then really quick on the tests, I think the image scan based on the failures, you've already patched the images in master in the main branch. And then this was flaky only because of one failure, but otherwise it's good. And then the rest of it is green. Okay. I think that's all we have. Anything else you all want to discuss?
I'm good.
I'm also good.
Cool. Thanks for joining.
Cool.
See you guys. Thank you.
See you all in 2 weeks. Yeah. See ya. Bye.